Welcome back to another wonderful episode of Joy and Gratitude, where we come together to detangle ourselves into flow, baby. And here I am with my wonderful co host, Miss Beth Mercurio. Beth, what's up? Tell me something
Hello.
good.
Well, Nio, it's always so good to see you. Hello, Nio, and hello to listeners that can see me and listeners that are listening in. Today, we're going to talk about laughter, so I'm excited. Maybe you guys could already tell the energy. I mean, laughter is such an important and amazing. It's not really a skill. Is it a skill? I don't know. This is what we can talk about, right? We've talked about schools before, our skills and tools that we love, and laughter continues to come up as something we think is super important for so many reasons, for our well-being, for our leadership, for ways in which we can bring calm, vulnerability, and what else, Neo? Why is laughter something we really want to talk about with everybody today?
You know what laughter does? Laughter gives us a space of calm, joy. It just changes the environment altogether. You know, you could be in the middle of the major crisis of your life, and something happens that's just funny, and it changes the mood, it changes the room, it changes the space, it changes the oxygen. There's have a family member that's going through some illness right now, and she really realized how important it was just to laugh, especially with kids, and to know that it's safe to laugh, that it just changes the room, and it gives you the opportunity to feel safe, to belong, to express yourself freely. It changes everything. It really does. It is so powerful. And I think the most important thing that it does, it invokes trust.
Say more.
You Well, when you're able to laugh together, you are in harmony. You're trusting each
Mm,
other's space. You're trusting each other to be in that topic and know that it's funny. It's not that serious. And we can laugh about it, whatever it is. And I think it's so powerful in relationships, whether it's with a friend, a spouse, a child, or even in business. To laugh together means that you understand each other enough that you can trust each other for that moment. And that's pretty special.
yeah, I love this idea of harmony. I never really thought about that, but this, like, when you're like, you're in harmony together. And I think we talk about presencing so much, but I also think laughter, especially if it's unexpected. So let's say, obviously, like if you choose to go to a comedy show, you're going to laugh. And usually you've chosen to do that because you know that belly laughing and laughing feels good, right? And we can
Yeah.
talk about that. I can't wait for you to share some of the sort of science behind laughter and what it does for us, literally, quite literally. But if we think about that unexpected moment where something funny happens, I think you're right. We harmonize because all of a sudden we are instantly brought into a presence together about whatever that thing is that made us laugh, that we thought was funny. Or sometimes, I think I'm thinking about like groups of people too, where a couple of people will tune into something funny, maybe before everybody else, and it creates this instant connection that they caught that same thing at the same time, or that they had that same reaction that made them laugh, because not everybody finds the same things funny. I mean, I'm famous in my house for saying that Michael, my husband, is not funny. And of course, like everybody thinks Michael's very funny. He is funny. He like cracks jokes a lot. He's just like funny in his mannerisms. He makes the girls laugh all the time. But these things that he says, like that, of course, as my partner, I find so predictable. I just go, guys, that's not funny. Like, you're not supposed to laugh at that. If you laugh at it, he'll think it's funny, then he'll do more of it. This is exhausting. So we get into this like game about like, that's not really funny. And there's a big joke about how I'm not funny. So if I say something funny, they'll be like, oh my God, mom was funny. And then we all laugh. So it's really interesting around who connects with who in the same way, like has the same sense of humor. And I do think, obviously, while I'm saying, that's not funny, I obviously find it slightly funny. I just don't want to, I don't want to give him full humor, because then we will live in a land of constant, teasing and joking. And sometimes I find like there's a place for it. But yes, I love this idea that it makes us present. Whatever you were doing has to stop because you're in the new moment. The moment that you're either like, did that just happen? Or did so-and-so just say that? And recognizing that brings that connection and presencing kind of immediately.
It's a incredible releaser of dopamine. And,
Mm.
you know, um, when people go through PTSD and they go through depression, a lot of therapists focus on what makes you laugh because laughter is free. And it is a wonderful way of being able to release dopamine and also just get you into a positive energy and get you to the point that you are now comfortable enough to experience feelings again in a safe way. So, laughter has so much value. And when you're going through trauma, it has been proven that laughter is healing. Um, there is this social media couple um, that one of them is going through cancer, and they have decided to laugh about it. So as he's going through his chemotherapy, they just do these, they're not even skits, they're just kind of filming part of their life. And there was this one time he just had um, finished having therapy and he was lying down and he said, may I have some water? And his partner goes and he says, there goes your make a wish moment. And
Could have had
it's
anything.
horrendously weird to laugh at that, but it was so funny. Just the fact that he's like, yeah, I'll give you the water, but there goes your make a wish moment. That's it. You're not
You could
getting
have had
anything else.
one thing, and you asked
And
for water.
it was insane. Anybody coming into that room probably would have thought, oh my God, how rude, how horrible. But that moment was special to his partner because he was treated like a normal person. He wasn't pitied,
Mm.
he was made fun of, he had a chuckle. And that is what laughter brings. It normalizes a situation. You know how you trip and you start laughing and someone else starts laughing? It takes the stigma from I was clumsy away. And now we're all laughing that I tripped, and it just normalizes. It gives you the ability to recover. And ah, what a
It's
simple thing, but
a
powerful.
powerful, and I I'm just laughing. I'm just laughing. One of my dear friends, Kate, this woman, she literally she will belly laugh, like curl over in laughter when someone falls. And it is like sometimes really inappropriate. We laugh so hard because she's like, I just want you to know, if you ever fall or trip or do anything of the sort, I will not help you up. I will just be the one standing there laughing at you. She's like, I know it's really not okay sometimes, but nothing is funnier to me than that. So now, as you said that, you reminded me, like when somebody trips and you all start laughing, this is like we send videos to each other of people falling because it just happens to be for her something that just gets her every time and she cannot stop laughing. And I love it because when we talked about at the beginning of the episode, is it a skill or a tool? In a way, that's a perfect example, which is, oh, I do know what will really sort of trigger them into laughter. And it's someone falling Or you and I have shared hysterical, pet videos like dogs and cats and doing crazy things, but they make us laugh. So you're right. When you know it and you know the person and you know what that is for them, because I think it can be different for all of us. Like what makes us laugh? What are those moments? Um, that yes, we share them and we use them to lighten up. Because you're right. If I receive one of those, it lightens me up. I'm able to kind of wherever I am, just shift into a place that's lighter. And knowing that is such a tool and a gift. And I'm excited to think about that. I'm already thinking after this, I'm going to be sending a whole bunch of little snippets, videos, like or even your own old videos, right?
Oh,
Can make you laugh that you resurrect and bring back. And so laughter also has longevity to it, which is kind of great. One time, no, like the same story can make people laugh. I mean, I'll tell you this hysterical story, and my family will laugh that I'm putting this on the podcast. But my mother-in-law, she loves to tell this story about how when Michael was a little boy, she was feeding him beets. And while she was feeding him these beets, he just kept making this face like, you know, and she just kept feeding him. And it never dawned on her. She had a friend come over and she was like, oh my gosh, yeah, I'm feeding. Michael loves beets. And the friend was like sitting there going, I think like that like he doesn't like beets. Like he really wants to throw up. I don't think you should feed him beets. So she tells us a story how she fed him beets until a friend said, I think Michael doesn't like the beets. And she tells us this story and she reenacts Michael making the face that he wants to throw up the beets. And she tells us every single time we're together. So now the joke is like, we have now brought such legs to this joke because we know she'll tell it. We just have to get one of us to go, does Michael like beets? And then like the rest of it is history. And so now all of us try to figure out how will we come up with a way to get Nanny to tell the Michael Beats story. But that one thing has so much and then it becomes the funnier part is who's going to figure out how to get Ninny to say it. And I'm sure Ninny is in on the joke at this point. She's probably like, oh, I'm just going to tell the Michael Beats story because it's just become so funny. So laughter and longevity, I never really thought about it, but it's true. Like that same story brings us such lightness and laughter and joy every single time it's told. We now have legs to it, right? And I don't know. I'm just still thinking about that. I never realized how much laughter can have longevity. Stories can be told over and over again, and they're
oh my
funny
gosh,
each and
yeah.
every time.
Yeah, you think about our traditions, a lot of them are based on laughter. Little things
Yes.
that cause everybody to chuckle, behave silly, especially if you think of the holidays. Like, we have a
Mm.
tradition in our family that we take numbers to who's gonna open their gifts,
Oh.
and the whole thing is to get the person that it's their number, their time to open, to get out of there as fast as possible. So we do jokes, we try opening their gifts for them. I mean, everybody has different strategies. And this has started since the kids were babies,
Mm.
and people fighting for the numbers to be number one and the whole thing. And it's usually the child that is the kid of the family that's number one. Um, but they're ripping the number off the kid. I mean, it's just insanity. I'm not doing it justice because if you were seeing it filmed, you'd be in tears of how it has turned into a fight of the titans. I mean, it's just insane. But that is what tradition happens. That's how laughter has longevity.
Mm.
People are looking forward to it. They have a strategy. They're thinking about how to make everybody laugh, how to make that situation heightened. And that's what laughter does. It builds that camaraderie, that situation that you're like, yeah, I feel good about this. This is good. This is what we as a family are. These are our moments. And we do the same thing even at work, if you think
Mm.
about it. So many times we're in really stressful projects, and then somebody will sing a song and you can't get the song out of your head, and everybody's singing the song. And somebody will do something that they did at the previous project that made everybody laugh. And it's just to exhale, to get everybody back united, to get the stress off. And that's what laughter does. It takes that stress and brings it down and just lets everybody exhale. And I don't think I'd be married if it wasn't for laughter. My husband cracks me up. He has complete dry humor, but he gets me and he knows how to interject jokes that nobody would ever expect for me to laugh at, but he knows me that well.
Oh,
And I would say 90% of the people don't get his jokes, but I get him so well that from day one, he made me laugh. And that was just a gift.
ah, it it is such a gift, and as you're saying it, I do think, same, I was mentioning Michael in a couple scenarios, but I think one of the gifts that he gave me was not only is he I mean, obviously, when I say he's not funny, he is very funny.
I know
Uh,
he's funny. I know
yeah,
my
I'm like, "You know him, he's funny." I just like, "He's not funny, he's not funny." But the reality is he also got me to laugh at myself, which I think is really why I was so attracted to him back in the beginning was I took myself too seriously, and he never did. He just and he would make me laugh at myself in such this beautiful way that I would have to be like, "Wait, I'm the crazy one here. Oh, oh, maybe I should take myself a little less seriously." So I do think this ability to laugh at ourselves is a whole nother like, element of laughter. This ability to go, really? Because a lot of times laughter does take us out of that moment, get us present to a new moment that makes us realize whatever we were in, was it worth all that energy? Was it worth the emotion? Whatever it was, did it deserve what we were giving it? And we just get to pulse check. Maybe, yes, maybe the laughter just pulls us out and we go right back and it's fine. But I do think sometimes the laughter is what you said, it's kind of a release. It allows us to be calm. And then, whether it be work or family or life, anything, we get to reassess as we come back in. We're coming back in from a different place. And maybe just that energy shift, that being in a moment of harmony will allow us to show up differently in whatever we were in before. And that is one of the true, there's so many, we've talked about many of the gifts today, but one of the true gifts of laughter is this ability to come back from a different place. And I say that, like I said, even for myself, realizing maybe by laughing at myself a little more, I'm able to kind of regroup and go, whatever that I thought was so important, was it like this? Let's be goofy for a minute. No, it's not that important, and shape myself differently afterwards.
absolutely. And sometimes we do tell stories about ourselves that are funny, but we have to be cautious. You could tell the story about what happened, but stick to the facts of the story and why it was funny. Do not self deprecate.
Hmm.
That is really important because now you've taken the value of laughter and you've diminished yourself. You don't need to make anyone have a negative connotation about you because then they believe that that's your truth. But you
Mm.
could tell the story and laugh and know that it was a silly moment and it was fun. I have the story that is the silliest story in the world. My husband and I went to St. Pete's and stayed at a friend's condo. And I decided to go to the beach. We were right on the beach and I put, towel down. Everything is good. And this little crab, I will tell you, this is big in comparison to the size of this crab. This little crab got on my towel. And I don't know why I had the reaction that I felt that I was being attacked by a saber-toothed tiger. And my husband's looking on the balcony, looking down at me, and I jump like a jackrabbit off the towel, and the little crab is chasing me, and I am running around the towel Like I am losing my mind, and this little crab is going to kill me. And my
Saber-tooth tiger
husband,
crab.
yeah, and my husband screams from the balcony, throw it in the ocean. And I'm like, but it's a crab.
Like, I can't, I'm not touching that thing. I'm running away from that thing.
And I go,
Oh,
and finally I get the courage to pick it up, and I realize how small she is. And I threw it in the ocean. But if you would see it, it was one of
oh.
those moments, and he did film it, of Keystone Cops. You know, when the Keystone Cops are just going around in
Yes,
circles?
yes.
And here's a grown woman running from a crab this small.
Oh my gosh.
That was funny.
Uh, I can
It didn't
visualize it.
label me as insane, and it didn't label me as anything else, but it was a funny moment. So speak the funny
Yes.
moment.
Mm.
Don't label yourself because you feel that you need to make everybody else feel comfortable or whatever. It doesn't work. It works negatively. Just tell the story. So now everybody knows that if you have a little crab and I'm around, I will run.
I will
It
run.
happened.
I will run.
I will
No,
run.
I think it's such a really beautiful distinction, such an interesting point because when someone does do the self-deprecation, you're right. I no longer think about the story. I think, oh, that's so sad that that person is kind of self-shaming or like it doesn't feel, is trying to diminish themselves.
Yeah.
And I lose the story. You are completely right. So how beautiful that you could tell a story. And storytelling can be amazing because I think about when we talk about laughter, I also clearly as I'm talking through this episode, I'm like, Michael's family is apparently quite funny because Papa, Michael's father, always has a joke.
Yeah.
Always. So he will, whenever you are like my daughters, like so he has 4 granddaughters, and every time he'll be like, I have a joke. And I literally think, what does he do? Like, does he always looking at joke books? Like, how does he always have a joke? He always, or he'll just go, have I told you the one about, and sometimes we'll be like, yes, you have. But most times we don't know it. And many of his jokes, because he is such an incredible storyteller, he pauses in beautiful ways. He grips you into these jokes as if literally they are the most amazing stories. Like there's going to be a punchline, but you're still in it, like waiting and waiting and listening and waiting. And he is really, really talented at joke telling. And I know he listens to these podcasts. So yes, Papa, I have admitted that you are a very talented joke teller because he is very good at it. And even if the joke lies flat, we get such joy that he spends, I don't know, honestly, I should ask him like, how do you always have a joke at hand? He has a joke in his pocket every single time we're together. And it is something we will always remember him for. And the jokes that don't fall flat, that really are hysterical, we will reference over and over again. We might ask him to retell the joke. So you're right. And I love this because it also enables each one of us. If he can look up a joke, so can we. Now, I might not have the most eloquent gift of joke telling, which is really storytelling, that he does. But it's true that if you know that there's going to be a moment in experience, a point in time where something might be heavy, is there a way to think consciously about how to bring levity and laughter to that moment in advance? I love this idea. And I do think people do that a lot. They try to think about how can you lighten a moment? How can you create, and I'm stealing this from Nio because she did blog about this yet again, read her blog. A playful space, I believe is what you called it, Nio.
Yes.
How do you create a playful space? We do have the tools to create and bring more laughter into our lives. And I think with some intentionality, which we talk a lot about, around that, lightening, laughter, levity, the 3 L's, lightning is up, adding laughter, bringing levity. That can be such a beautiful thing if you know that it's needed. And then I love, of course, when it's spontaneous. Those are the best, like you said. Unexpected laughter is also just such a gift.
One of the things when you were talking about um, your father-in-law, what came to mind is his joy. His
Mm,
joy is laughter.
yeah.
He finds joy in giving others laughter. How powerful is that?
You nailed
That
it.
is so beautiful.
Yes. Yes.
Just think about the fact that in this world with so much that's going on, just to have a moment and have someone that intentionally is trying to give you a moment of laughter. What a blessing. What a powerful, amazing blessing.
Mm,
And yes, let's be intentional about bringing laughter into our space. But also, I think it's really take the opportunity to laugh at the simple things. Having trouble opening a bag of potato chips. That is funny. To see the gyrations that we go through,
It's true.
it's funny. Laugh at the little things
Mm,
because why not? Really, why not?
why not?
So, um, looking up my song, and I have a few songs for this one, um, just because laughter is so special that when I think of laughter, there is one song that always comes up to my brain, and it's what they sing at Miss America, Smile. I don't know if you've heard the song,
Oh,
Smile, though your heart is aching, smile once
yes.
you.
Yes.
And, and it's just because the song basically says, at the end of the day, what can truly
Mm,
dismantle heartache, dismantle tough times, and that's laughter and a smile. A
mm.
smile can change everything. So that's my number one song. And it was actually written by Nat King Cole. I don't think people knew that. And
Oh,
the other one is Bach McFerrin on Don't Worry, Be Happy. Keep it
don't
simple.
worry.
We all know it and we all laugh to it.
Yeah, I love that
Let's see what
song.
Gratitude Rock says for us today.
Amazing. All right. Let us look. Mm,
Pretty
it's
green.
a pretty green color, and the word is enough. Enough. And it's so good. Usually we talk about enough. What comes to mind is that we have enough, right? That
Mhm.
we always maybe think of what we lack instead of what we have. And I don't know, for me right now, this word enough is making me realize that I'm not sure I have enough laughter in my life and that I would love more and that I think it's possible with just a little intentionality and noticing the little things and letting them be funny instead of stressful. That's a mindset shift to go when you can't get that bag of potato chips open, right? When Papa tells you another joke, that there is such beauty in that moment. Like it was really beautiful the way you said, what a gift. I have newfound gratitude as we do Gratitude Rocks for the people that really enjoy bringing laughter to life. And there's a lot of people out there, and maybe just start noticing them and showing them some gratitude and really embracing all of the laughter that is around us in our lives.
Absolutely. We could never have enough
Never.
laughter in our lives.
Mhm.
So let's flow into our laughter, flow into just being willing to experience life with a smile as we say goodbye, as we move into the end of our episode of Joy and Gratitude. We definitely want to see you again next time.